Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, guys, I want to go over the last couple of games for the Toronto Maple Leafs and talk about some news and notes about specific players. Stop me if you've heard this before, but on the Friday night game against the Calgary Flames, the Maple Leafs ran into another hot goalie who, coming into that game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, had a save percentage below 900. And I know that this is going to piss some people off that we're looking at the deserved to win a meter and then the quality and quantity of scoring chances that the Leafs had in this one. Or we're looking at the expected goals and it heavily favors them. But it's the same story, whether it's Dan Vladar or a 35-year-old Jonathan Quick or an Anton Forsberg or whoever it was last season or whoever it may be tonight. They all feel like Andrei Vasilevsky. And maybe if we watched other teams other than the Toronto Maple Leafs, we would see that this happens to other teams too. But then again, other teams don't have the finishing talent and the scoring power that the Maple Leafs do. Not everyone has Austin Matthews, John Tavares, and William Nylander and Mitch Marner. This shouldn't be happening to them. And that's why people are frustrated. But then again, maybe the answer lies in this game against the Sabres. Because you see the expected goals in this game, you see the scoring chances that the Maple Leafs had, but yet they were able to drop 5 goals on them. And it was something that I said during the Calgary game. You should not need the best shooter in the league in the most opportune area just to score 1 goal. Sometimes throwing the puck on net is enough. Sometimes it takes a funny bounce off the boards. Sometimes it hits an opposing player, an attacking player. Sometimes the goalie just can't see it. Sometimes the goalie's just bad. We did a video here on this channel last week analyzing a bunch of the scoring opportunities that the Leafs got in their game against the LA Kings. And we compared them to what the expected goals were saying that they were worth. And we were asking, are these scoring opportunities really dangerous? What went wrong? Why didn't they score on them? And the main takeaway that we had is that in order to score a lot of goals, you need a high volume of scoring opportunities. You need dangerous scoring opportunities. You need talented shooters. And you need to be lucky as well. And if you're looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs, they lead the NHL at 5-on-5 in scoring chances 4 per 60. And they're also second in the NHL in high danger shots 4 per 60. So far, they got 2 out of the 4 pieces of the puzzle down. They have the volume of opportunities, and they have the quality of them as well. And the shooting talent. Over the last 3 seasons, the Maple Leafs have 3 out of the top 21 goal scorers at even strength. And outside of the Maple Leafs' big 4 players, they own 5 players in the top 75 in scoring chances 4 per 60 at 5-on-5, minimum 100 minutes played. And those 5 players are Nick Ritchie, Jason Spezza, Michael Bunting, Pierre Engvall, and Wayne Simmons. And if you want to say that those guys just don't have the scoring talent to be able to capitalize on the volume of opportunities that they're getting, yeah, fine. I mean, Ilya Mikheyev's been near the top of the league in scoring chances for the last couple of seasons. Do we believe that he's going to turn into a 20 or 25 goal guy? No, of course not. But does Nick Ritchie deserve to have 0 goals so far this year? Does Wayne Simmons deserve to only have 1? I don't know. Having watched the games, I'd say no. Overall, that game against the Calgary Flames, even the one against the Flyers, left me, especially, and I know a lot of other people, wanting to see Ondrej Kase play a more prominent role in this team's offense. We know what the Engvall-Kampf-Kase line can do for the Maple Leafs defensively. We know how many defensive zone starts they take. We've talked about how many of those defensive zone starts end up in the other team's zone by the end of it. The narrative coming into this year is that the regular season did not matter for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I think you can kind of see Sheldon Keefe going with that every once in a while, because Kerfoot with 6 points in his last 7 games definitely did not deserve to be bumped down outside of that top 6, but you do it to give Kase an opportunity because he's been rolling. And if that works over an extended period of time, then you know that you have another option to go to come the playoffs. And it's not like the lines need to stay the same for the entirety of the game either. You can always move Kase back with Engvall and Kampf if you're up 2 goals in the 3rd period and you need that shutdown line. Ignore the lines completely and don't draw any conclusions. I just want to talk about something. Because Mikheyev is going to be back in 3 or 4 weeks, and we know that he can play well in a checking role. But we know that the Maple Leafs also wanted to give him an opportunity in the top 6 in the preseason. We don't know if that's still the same or not. With Kerfoot having 8 points in his last 8 games and Kase being healthy and on fire, I don't know how you take either of those guys outside of the top 6. But Then again, you could look to disperse the scoring around the lineup a little bit, but I don't know, just the fact that they have so many players who are versatile in the sense who you can use them in an offensive role, but you can also use them in a defense role if you need to. It fits with what Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe want this team to be. They don't want them to think offense now, defense afterwards, or defense first, offense afterwards. They want you to be able to do both. And to have so many players that you can use in versatile roles, like we said, I just think is flexibility that this team has not had in years past. And maybe you can say that I'm just grasping at things to be positive about, but this team legitimately has 13 NHL forwards and 7 NHL defensemen. This is an interesting article from theleafsnation.com from training camp by Kyle Cushman talking about who got bigger and who slimmed down over the offseason by training camp measurements compared to last year's training camp. And if we come down to who slimmed down, Justin Holl is one of the biggest fallers here, weighing in as heavy as 210 pounds at one point to just 194 at the beginning of this season. And at a quick glance, you can just look at that and say, oh, wow, maybe he worked out and just slimmed down and he's in better shape to start this training camp. But the alternative comes in an article from October 24th on The Athletic from James Myrtle here. And if we scroll through really quickly, we will come to the part about Justin Holl. 3, the blue line. Justin Holl has been sick. Period. James, can you give us a little bit more, please? But maybe he can't give us more information about it, because teams are usually pretty tight-lipped when it comes to injuries. I'd imagine if it was what's been going around, they would have had to have disclosed that, and I also don't want to speculate, so I won't. But what I will say is that Kerfoot suffered a concussion and broke his jaw on the same play a couple of seasons ago, and he was pretty much done after that. He couldn't get back up to game speed, except for when they had about 3 or 4 months off between the season shutdown and the play-in round, and he was great in that series against the Blue Jackets. The concussion was bad enough, but having broke his jaw, he couldn't eat solid foods for 2 weeks. And if you drop weight really quickly, that doesn't give your body enough time to adjust. That throws off your skating stride, your shot, your timing, everything. And for a player to try to get back up to speed when everyone else is at 90 to 100% and you're at like 60, good luck. The NHL's really tough. But going back to the Sabres game, yeah, I know they played like crap. Yeah, I know they couldn't break the puck out of their own zone. Yeah, I know it's Buffalo. But also, I'm going to chalk that up to the Maple Leafs deserve that. They did, and we did. I know that the Maple Leafs rested a few players in this game. Simmons didn't play, Sandin didn't either. And I mean, 3 games in 4 nights and the second half of a back-to-back against Buffalo, if a guy's not at 100%, don't push him. It would have been nice to see Spezza get a day off as well, but I guess you can't accommodate for everyone. And Travis Dermott in this game did not look very good, especially on one of the goals that the Sabres scored. I can't remember which one, but he was way too soft on the puck, and that may have earned him a spot in the press box Tuesday night against the Nashville Predators. It's nice to see healthy competition within this team, but I would like to see everyone play well at the same time. I know the Sabres went into last night's game also on the second half of a back-to-back, but the Leafs played 3 games in 4 nights, and they won all 3 of them. I really don't care how they played in that Buffalo game. As long as they didn't do Joseph Woll dirty, like the last time they played in front of a rookie goalie in Casimir Kaskisuo, which I believe was Penguins, and that was right up around the time Mike Babcock got fired. If you remember, you remember. As long as they got the W for Joseph Woll, that's all I really cared about last night. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Make sure to like it if you did, like and subscribe more, because more is always on the way. And I know it hasn't been pretty, but second place looks pretty good.